Hiya, and thank you so much for taking the time to watch my video. This video is going to be about obviously OCD and about intrusive thoughts, but more importantly I'm going to talk about how we need to look at these intrusive thoughts that come into our mind. If you watch this video it may be of help to you. I'm going to do my best to talk about how it affects me and about how I try and look at these things that come into my mind. Now, you've without teaching you to suck eggs, as someone once said to me once, because sometimes being like, obviously educated, or if you like, even semi-educated, sometimes when these thoughts come into your mind, and like they're almost stupid. It's amazing how we as OCD sufferers, if you like, can attach so much weight to this thought that we're thinking. Um, for me, my intrusive thoughts, and I'm guessing yours are the same, because they usually have a pattern, and that is, well, my intrusive thoughts, they always target the thing that I love the most. And it's usually my family. My family, I'm either thinking that I'm going to make something happen, or I'm thinking that something bad's going to happen, or something. It's always something that comes across my mind that is something that I don't want to think about. It's something that I'm thinking it, and I just think, why am I? But you need to realise, which has took me ages, if you like, to actually accept. And even now, even as I'm saying this, I know that it's still, when I have these thoughts, they still carry weight. And that is, we need to say to ourselves, which is what I do all the time, is that it is exactly what it is. It's an intrusive, unwanted thought. Now, you're probably thinking that's easy for me to say. Um, what I watched, like you're obviously searching on YouTube and other social platforms to try and, if you like, find a way of beating these, if you like, things that come in your mind. Um, I actually come across one the other day, which I've kind of tried to trigger it in my mind as a way of helping myself. And in this video, and I'm sorry I haven't got a link to it, it's something that I just watched, and then I watched another video. But this person said that because he was talking about intrusive thoughts, he said whenever you think about thoughts, and obviously attaching weight to a thought that you think, he said it's not the first thought that you think, it's the second one that you should attach weight to. And when I thought about this, it makes sense, because something comes in your mind. It might be that you're thinking about, you're going to hurt someone, or that something's going to happen to someone you love, or something horrible's going to happen, and then you say to yourself immediately after, you say to yourself, well, I don't want to think that. I don't want that to happen. I don't want to think that. That's the thought. That is the real you. Yeah, that is the real you. Because the first thought it's coming to your mind, and it's attached weight because you've given it weight in your mind. But it's the second thought that you think after that, when you think, oh, why am I thinking that? I don't want to think that. That's horrible. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do it to anyone. You see what I'm saying? It's the second thought that I think we have to tell ourselves carries weight. Because in my eyes, I know with me, I'm talking about me personally, I have never ever done anything where I've acted on my first thought. I've only ever worried about why I was thinking it. I'm thinking that something was going to happen, or that I was going to, lose control, or whatever it might be. It was the second thought, which, if you like, gave me a little bit of relief. In other words, me saying to myself, I wouldn't do that. That ain't me. I wouldn't do that. Why am I thinking that? I would never do that. That is the real you. Yeah. So when you think these horrible things, and that first thought comes, and then the second thought comes, because if you're like me, your mind will fight against that first thought. You'll say, you'll start, defending yourself. I'm not this person. That is the real you, yeah? And you need to realise that the very fact that you're searching on YouTube for ways of um, helping you deal with intrusive thoughts, that tells me, and I don't even know who you are, but it tells me that you would that the first thought that you're thinking, you would never do anyway, because you're so worried about doing it. Yeah, I can't name them, but I have genuinely read many books on OCD. I read one all about cognitive behavioural therapy. That was a thick one I read years ago, and they spoke about different people, different things that happen to different people. And the author said that all these people, they had one thing in common. All these OCD sufferers, they had one thing in common. And the thing that they had in common was they all had intrusive thoughts, but never took any action to act them out. What they did do was worry about whether they were going to do it. Yeah. Now, this obviously is a very frustrating roundabout, if you like, to be on. And it's something that I'm still, I don't think I'm cured, because I ain't. But I'm trying to train my own mind into realising that this is what this thing does. I still sit now with my wife sometimes and I say to her, why won't this go, Trace? Why is it, why won't it just leave me alone? And then she says to me, Cole, it's your OCD. The more you try not to think it, the more it's going to torment you. Yeah. And it's taken me 40 years to work this out, really. But I still now, at the time of making this video, I'm still getting intrusive thoughts. But I'm trying to not attach any weight to them, and say to myself, I said it earlier without going into what I'm thinking about. I said it earlier, and then I said, well, why don't I just do this then? And I wouldn't. Immediately I went, because I don't want to. So it's an intrusive thought, because you're thinking that you want to do something, you want to leave, you want to go, you want to, you're thinking that something's going to happen to someone, and it might be that you say, I wish this happens to this person, the person that you love. You know it ain't true, but your mind has tricked you into believing and attaching weight to it. That's all it is. And for me, if you watch my other videos, you'll know that for me, what helps me more than anything else is television. Television. You know what I mean? I'm an educated guy. I don't really read a lot. I used to read quite a lot years ago. When I was studying, and I read I read some self-help books, but I was never one for reading novels. But I always enjoyed watching telly. Sit me in front of a 007 Daniel Craig for 2 hours, and I'm cured almost. You know what I mean? So it's all about your. I talk about occupation, your mind having that space, to allow your mind to concentrate on that thing you're worrying about. You must have seen the video about the guy who puts a woman in a room, or a man in a room, and says, "Don't think about polar bears," and they're in an empty room. Well, all they're going to think about now is why they're in the room and what they were told not to do. Yeah, unless you're a very disciplined person, you probably find it hard not to at least think about a polar bear at some stage. But put that person in a room with 100 people who are all talking, and you're told not to think about polar bears. I'm guessing someone would obviously try and strike up conversation with you, and then obviously you would start talking back. You might be able to find time whilst you're in that room to think about it for a short while, but you're going to struggle to think about it for any real amount of time, because you're hopefully going to be engaged in conversation, which is obviously taking your mind off it. And that is what I know is the cure. Not the cure, I don't believe I can be cured. What is for me is definitely a helping remedy, if you like. Yeah. So think about what I've been saying in this video. Think about obviously the different ways that you can, look at your circumstances and what you can do to fill your day. And don't allow these don't give these thoughts the time. Yeah. Because years ago, when I went to see a counsellor, a lady, a nice lady, a Chinese lady, she spoke about a thought like being like a scab on your arm, where you think something that you don't want to think, and then you pick it, and then you pick it again, and then you pick it again. It comes across your mind, and then you pick it. Before you know it, it's like halfway up your arm. It's the only thing you're thinking about. And what we need to do, we need to take our focus off of this one thing and replace it with many things. With many things, obviously work, sleep, your occupation, but more importantly, things you enjoy. Things you enjoy. These will be the key. These will be a definite aid in your recovery. Thanks for watching my video. I really hope you got something out of it. I do a lot of videos on helping myself, because like I say, I've got OCD and all the associated things that go with it. Depression, intrusive thoughts, anxiety. So I do know quite a lot about it. I appreciate you watching it to the end. If you did watch to the end, please subscribe. I'd really appreciate it if you give me a thumbs up. And I do hope that you got something out of it. And I hope that whatever it is you're suffering from, that you find some sort of solution. Because there's many out there. And like I said, I think we need to attack this illness in every direction if we are to recover. Thanks a lot, and thanks so much for your time.